Hi, my name is Brenda Titus. I'm a professional hypnotist in Orange County, California. For information about myself and my program, including in-person sessions, please go to my website, ochypnotherapy.com. Today's thoughts from the hypnosis office is how good is good enough? And the reality is that I work with a lot of people who really struggle with perfectionism. And I understand. I, really believe in, giving my best, doing my best, and delivering quality in obviously first professionally, but also within my life. But there is the reality of what happens when we strive for perfection too much of the time. Because generally speaking, I'm working with people for anxiety, overwhelm, stress, exhaustion, and sometimes, unfortunately, stress related illness because we've tried too hard in too many areas of our lives to strive for perfection. And so I've been kind of toying with that recently with a couple of clients where it comes to, well, what is good enough? And I had an idea recently when I was talking to a client. Well, actually, as a little bit of a background. I understand that with some of my medical issues that I've shared on my personal side of my channel about my vision challenges, where I've had to kind of learn about, there are times where I really need my vision to be on point. Driving would be a time that my vision needs to be on point. So I need to be sure that my energy is, really, I've got all the energy and, mental and emotional energy for when I'm driving, which isn't very much. Obviously working with my clients, I've got to be sure that I have, ready to go where it comes to that, be able to read my notes and be able to see their eyes and their face and all of that. So those are the times that are very important to me to be on. But I've also had to learn that there are other times in my life that I need to relax, and it's okay if I don't see so well. And that has been a real challenge for me, and so I'm admitting and acknowledging that, because it provides the example of how I started talking to a couple of clients recently about this, because I very specifically was working with a couple of people who, really needed to work on the stress and anxiety associated with perfectionism. So, as I was talking to a client recently, I said, okay, let's acknowledge the fact that there are some areas of your life where it's important to be on point. And of course, we talked about, her work and the even the specific parts of her work where really we needed to be sure that, high level. And then it actually helped to acknowledge the parts in her life that then she could let go and let loose, a little bit more, and to acknowledge that perfectionism, it's great, do the best that you can and all of that, but it didn't have to be, quite that level of perfect, or the perfectionism. And so I thought I'd just kind of share that a little bit today and see if that, might help somebody out there thinking about this idea of how good is good enough, and especially struggling with the stress associated with perfectionism. This is probably a great time to add that I've really worked a lot on that idea of overcoming perfectionism, because when I do my videos, it's one take. It's, one shot. I push record and I say and I share what needs to be shared. And I'm not really in a position of being able to do a lot of editing or anything like that, but it provides a really great opportunity for me to share, and some of the ideas or thoughts that I'm, experiencing here in the hypnosis office, how I'm able to help people. And also sometimes to model the fact that, I'm a real person here, learning and growing along with my clients, and also as I'm facing my own challenges, which is actually ultimately probably good for me in overcoming some of those challenges around, the all or nothing thinking. If I can't do it perfect, then I'm not going to bother. And so, but here I'm also being able to model that, I'm here same as everybody else, learning and growing and figuring things out and being able to share. And so I hope that today's thoughts from the hypnosis office, thinking about perfectionism and how we can overcome it, especially by acknowledging, yes, it's true. There are certain parts in our life that we need to be on point, but let's also counteract that with the parts where we can let it go a little bit, and actually you might find you're doing a great job regardless of if it's perfect. So let's think about that part too. And so with that, I wish you a wonderful week. Have a great day.